very special guest here on the show. He's the head man of Jaguar land over the Southern University football team. Welcome to the show this morning, my man, Coach Terrence Graves. Good morning, Coach Graves.
Good morning, Perry. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Can't complain.
Hard at work. It is spring football, and trust me, you know, the football fans, anywhere I go constantly, they think I'm right there on your hip everywhere. Man, what the Jaguars looking like? How is this? How is that? I said, man, you got to let Coach go to work. And, Coach, you've been going to work, man, coming into the spring and coming out of the fall. We won the SWAC Western Division title. We make it to the championship. We come up short. But in year one, what did you learn and what did you see from this team of something to build off of going into year two?
Well, we have a great core of young men who are all in. That's one of our mantras that we always talk about. We have a great core group of young men who are all in into what we're doing here at Southern University in terms of on and off the field and in the community. And so last year really showed us that we trending in the right direction. And so we're just going to build on the success we had last year. We added some new pieces and added some pieces, and we're going to continue to build and go forward in quest of winning championships.
Let me ask you this, Coach. You know, what did you learn your first year as a head football coach? You've been around the profession a long time, but your first year as a Division I football head coach, what did you learn about yourself when it came to just program building, game management, those types of things, you know, that typically when a coordinator or a position coach, you know, there's not much of your responsibility, but when you're the man that sits in the big chair, it all comes to you. What did you learn and what ways did you figure things out as you continued on your journey in year one?
Well, the first thing that one of the biggest things that I got out of it was when it's confirmation. It's a lot of confirmation of being prepared. Experience is definitely important, and the only way you get experience is having the opportunity. And I'm grateful that Southern University allowed me the opportunity to be a head football coach and preparation. It doesn't necessarily that looks different for everybody. For some it's a long time, some it's shorter, whatever that time period is, but it's preparation. And when you prepare yourself for that position and you start to see it as you lay out your vision for the program and you see it coming into fruition, then that's confirmation. And then also having a great staff around me, a lot of sound wisdom, a lot of great ideas, great men, and basically, I think a lot of times you have to trust what you believe. And, a lot of times when you're an assistant or coordinator, you may say, well, when I'm sitting in the seat, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you get in the seat and all of a sudden you change from what you said you were going to do. No, I mean, you got to go with what you believe. And then you make the changes based off of what you believe. Everything starts with the foundation. And, I had a foundation. I got a solid foundation because just like I tell the players, I tell everybody, you don't build a house roof down, you build it foundation up. So we laid a foundation and we built the foundation. And so we started building our house from that foundation. And, you find out some things, some do's, some don'ts again. And a lot of it is about confirmation because a lot of stuff you already know, until you have that opportunity to actually know that what you think something should go a certain way. And then when you get in a position to do it, and you say, you know what, that does. You're supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to do it that way. And if you're paying attention and following the great ones before you, then it's not as difficult as it may seem.
Being a Division I, just say college coach, not just being a head coach, period. It doesn't matter what you over. You're right about that preparation and structure and making sure you get the right guys around that fit what you're looking for in terms of the culture and the vision. And for you in year one, you've gotten guys together and it's headed in the direction of the vision that you want. And you talk about winning championships. We're coming into the spring. What was your biggest emphasis as you had to circle some areas for this program for you to have to address this spring?
Well, we definitely always want to address. You always address the positions where you probably lost the most experience and depth, and then added some. If you don't feel like you had those people or the depth in that position, and we went out. We knew that we had to get more uh, experience and bigger offensive and defensive line. Our defensive line took the biggest hit because that's where most of our older guys were and most experienced guys. So we had to go out and get some of those guys. We had to always go and get offensive linemen, offensive and defensive linemen, uh, from Pop Warner football all the way up to the NFL. Everybody's looking for offensive and defensive linemen. You can call. I can call across town to the guys over there. I can call Alabama. I can call Penn State. I can call everywhere and ask those guys, man, I need offense. We do too. So everybody's looking for them. So you're always looking for offensive and defensive linemen, and the assistant coaches did a phenomenal job of recruiting and going out and addressing those needs. And then again, you fill in the spots where you've been successful. If you had great players, then you have to go and fill them in. And so then, we went out, wide receiver, a few defensive backs, and we a specialist. We added a couple linebackers, and the thing about linebackers, of course you added some because we lost Derek, so we had to add. We added a linebacker, but then also we add some because those guys are vital because they not only play linebacker, but they also are the guys that do most of the lifting in the special teams game. So you always got to have numbers there as well. And then we went out and looked at the running back room, and we got running back. Of course, we got Marion Asbury from across the street, Sun Lab. So that was a huge get. When we already have, Baron Remo from Catholic High School that was here last year, and he played as a true freshman. So, you're just always looking to how can you enhance what you have on your team. And our goal was to increase the competition level across the board. We want to take it to a whole nother level, and I think the assistant coaches did a really good job of addressing that.
You're looking at the quarterback room, of course, Noah Biden, Xavier and T-Set both out. But then you have Jalen Woods, who really seemed to have grown into himself towards the end of the season. For me, he gave Southern the best opportunity when you look at explosive plays through the passing game down the field. He was really on the money on a lot of those and giving Southern that excitement in those explosive plays that we needed. Now looking at him, he's coming back, the only returner from last year. What's your thoughts in when you have conversations and you see Jalen Woods as the football player and the man outside of the football player?
He's exactly, now when I talk about all in, Jalen Woods is all in. He's an example of all in. He's one of the examples of a player being all in and everything. To watch this young man as a redshirt freshman grow and mature and develop, it was really unfortunate that he got injured late in the Bayou Classic, and I think that, without a question, really kind of hamstrung us a little bit in the championship game because he had found his niche. He had got in his groove and he started moving that offense forward and not having an opportunity to play. I felt bad for him. Still feel bad for him, but he's a resilient young man. He's done a great job in the offseason, winter conditioning program. And Coach Moore, our strength and conditioning coach, he's done a phenomenal job, again, of getting these guys bigger, stronger, faster, flexible, doing a great job. Jalen has put on some muscle mass. He's flexible. He's got a lot of confidence, and he's learned. This is year 2 in a brand new system, so he's more comfortable with the system. He knows the system as it continues to expand, and so it's good to see that, and to have a guy that wants to get better. He doesn't take anything for granted. That's what you want as a quarterback and as a leader of the team.
I look at him, and I had a chance to come out there this week and check him out, man. He looks poised. He looks like the commander of the team, the leader of the team. You can tell he's bought in, and you can see it just in his demeanor, the way he's around, how he carries himself. He's bought in, and overall, when you look at this kid, what do you like about his game? For people that's out there, what is it about his game that stands out to you?
He's a competitor. That's the big thing. He competes. Regardless of what the situation is, he's going to compete. And that's what you want. He's a competitor. He's very cerebral. He's extremely smart. And once you tell him something, he's got it. He's a tough young man. He's a tough young man physically, and he's a tough young man mentally. He's not a guy that goes into a shell. He, as a matter of fact, when things get tough, now that's when he wants to step up. He can throw. He can make all the throws. He's worked. He's even worked. He's worked on his speed to be more mobile and more flexible and things of that nature. So he's a guy that, and the thing about him, he's not satisfied and complacent. He knows that he has to compete every day like everybody else. He knows, and that's the thing about it. He's not sitting back because Jamari. He knows that he knows Jamari's in the same situation he was in last year in terms of learning a new system and the whole nine. But he also understands that, he's not taking anything for granted. So to see him go out there and compete, knowing that he doesn't have anything sold up and he has some work to do and he wants to be great and he wants to be greater each and every day, that's what it's all about. And that same day, I think that you were there. I messed around and I owed him 2 power aids because, when we had one on, he did throw an incompletion, and so then I said, I was feeling some type of way because I'm a competitor, and I said, okay, let's go double or nothing. I knew I was gonna get it, and that joker didn't throw another interception. I mean, he didn't throw an incompletion, and so I owe him 2 power aids. So so I tried to put a little hustle on him the other day. I said, hey man, let's go double or nothing today. He said, Coach, you already owe me 2. We got to start there. And see, that's what I'm talking about. He's extremely smart. He said, hold up, Coach, I got to get the 2 from you first. Then we can. I said, man, look at this dude here.
You trying to city slick your quarterback?
I do. I try to get him.
Let me ask you this. Looking at your staff, it takes a group of guys to work hard and development. And anybody who comes to just check out, and if you get a chance to see this process, you watch guys all over the place putting in work from the position. Any new additions to the staff and anybody leaving in terms of the staff this spring?
Yeah, Coach Cotton, who was our quarterbacks coach, he left to he's now the assistant head coach, offensive coordinator at Fort Valley State with Coach Marlon Watson. Those two coached together at Alabama A&M, and Coach Watson, this is his first head coaching opportunity. So he wanted to, and he's a defensive guy, so he wanted a guy to make sure that he could give his offense to. So Coach Titan took that position, and we wish him well. And so Coach McNair is now Coach Fred McNair has now gone tight ends to quarterbacks coach. And then we have 2 other additions as well, because of course we had to replace. We had to hire a coach on the back end because of course we lost Coach Sean Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to hire another coach there, but not releasing the names of those guys yet because they're still going through the paperwork process. Just making sure that all the paperwork is gone through them as administrative wise, and then those guys will be released once that's done.
Let me ask you this, because I think a lot of people, they love football, but they don't understand football. For people out there that may love football but do not understand it, What's the importance of spring football? What are you looking for out of your coaches and your players in spring football? What are you looking to accomplish?
For me, it's different for everybody.
Yeah, I'm just
And
specifically for you.
me, for me, it's number one. We want everybody to come out healthy. That's the number one thing. You don't want any major injuries. You don't want anything injury at all, if possible. That's the first thing. And then the next most important thing for us is that we want everybody to come out of the spring with a great understanding of what we do, offense, defense, and special teams. It's important to know where we stand, who has an understanding of what we're doing schematically, because now what that does, it allows you to go faster in preparation for the fall when you get back in the summer for camp. You start off in square one and, for a couple of days, but coming from out of the spring, okay, well, they know squares 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you start off like that in the summer for a few days, and then you say, okay, we refreshed and we went over that. Okay, let's go to square 4, 5, 6, 7. And so that's what for us we want to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. It's not about and it gives you an opportunity to add some tweaks and tweaks of what you're doing, and take a look at some things that you may want to do differently or how you attack certain things. But at the end of the day, it's making sure that everybody has an understanding of what we're trying to do, and making sure that they execute it at a high level, because then that gives you a better chance in the fall when you can do that. It's not about going out there seeing who's the toughest, who's the hardest, who can do this and who can do that. But do they understand now? Can they do those things while executing what you're trying to do in all three phases of the game? That's what that's all about, and so that's what we look for, and that's what we get. That's our goals and aims here at Southern when we have to go through spring ball.
Let me ask you, because I've talked about this in the first hour, NIL and the transfer portal. You've been around the coaching profession a long time, and you've seen this thing evolve into what we see now in today's world of athletics, and particularly in your realm, football. How does a program like Southern survive moving into the future with the transfer portal being as hot every semester, it seems, and the fact of recruiting players seems to come with talking money? And of course, I get it. It is the game that it is today. It's simple. There's no way around it. But for you and Southern, how do we maneuver into the future of what this looks like for us now?
I mean, the NIL is a good thing. It's a good thing for the student athletes to have the opportunities to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness. And what we do at Southern, we have guys with NIL deals, and we had them last year and the year before. So, I think sometimes a lot of people think they look at what the Power Four schools are doing, and they think that equates all over college football, and that's just not the case. That's not the case in Group of Five football. Guys and NIL, just to give a small education aspect of it is NIL is not all money. People have NIL deals of merchandise, food, services, whatever the NIL deal that they go out and secure for themselves. That's what it is. It's not always about money, cash dollars in the pocket. Again, it's a lot of things. We had guys that had NILs with local restaurants and things of that nature. Case in point, our kicker, our punter, Robin's Beauplan. Well, Robin's Beauplan is of Haitian descent, and so I think he had a deal. I think it's the only Haitian restaurant in Baton Rouge or in this area they connected, and Rogan's had a deal where an NIL deal with them, and it was, you know, he would go and so many days he ate on these days. He would take the player, some of his teammates. He tried to get me to go, but I told him the food is too spicy for me, so I passed on it. But it you know, you know, that's the rules of the game. I think I think sometimes, regardless of how long you've been in the game, and as I told the staff, and we talk all the time, change is constant and it's inevitable. And if you don't adapt to change, then you become extinct.
Mm.
And so, uh, you know, being in the game 32, going on 33 years, you know, I started coaching college football at 23 years old. So um, I've seen a lot of change. And I think sometimes we tend to look at everything like the big bad boogeyman, but you just gotta do what you need to do and what works for your program. We have some student athletes that have NIL deals, and we'll have more. And then what we do now, because of the ruling, we kind of can also help facilitate that, is that we get an opportunity to teach those guys. You know, we had a great financial literacy program a few weeks ago with one of our corporate sponsors. When we talked to the guys about cleaning up their social media pages if it needs to be cleaned up, and how they carry themselves, because people invest, they're going to invest in people that have a great image, great character, and those things. So, and then we have alumni and supporters and fans that are doing things, to support our guys from that standpoint. So that's it. You just got to continue to do those things. Now, will they be the type of deals that you see at LSU, Alabama, Georgia, and those schools like that? Probably not. But as long as you're doing, as long as things are getting done for the student athletes that can help them, then that's what it's all about. You have to be strategic and do what's best. And here's the thing: when your guys or young girls, young ladies, the women and the men, when they understand that you're doing things to help them and help them to be better and help them facilitate to have the overall experience, a great overall college experience, then man, they love you for it, and they give their all for you because of that. And then also the transfer portal. I mean, it is what it is. When Perry, I tell you how it works. The student athletes don't even have to notify the coaches that they're gonna get in the transfer portal. They have no say so.
Just dip.
They can go to the compliance department and say, hey, I'm entering the transfer portal, and that's it. We don't. They can do that, and there's no nothing you can do. And so, you may find out online, but of course, we have great relationships. Everybody works together well here at Southern, so we get the courtesy email saying, these players, what have you, and the end of the transfer portal. And then some, they come by and say, hey, coach, I entered the transfer portal. You always want to make sure that they have a plan. Always want to make sure they have a plan. You wish them well. I'm never gonna be bitter or mad, upset because a young man that wants to get in the transfer portal. They have to do what. Only thing that I get upset about is if they get in the portal and they don't have a plan. Because as of right now, last year there were 2,700 football players still in the portal from last year.
That didn't end up nowhere.
Didn't end up anywhere. And then they had another in the first wave of transfer portal entries in December. They had 7,000, I believe, in college football. So you're talking about almost 9,000 football players in the portal. But remember, 2,700 were in there the previous year that didn't go anywhere. So you got basically young men out there in MySpace. Now I'm dating myself talking about MySpace,
I was
but
on MySpace too.
right, you just got them out there, and that's unfortunate and that's sad. You gotta, and that's what we talk about. Always have a plan. Hey, listen, if you feel like there's a better opportunity for you somewhere else, and you decide to take it, you wish you well. You never wanna lose players, but at the same token, this is the era that we're in now.
Yeah.
And so uh, to be bitter, I think that's not the way to be. To be bitter and nasty and hateful if a guy leaves. And like I say, I can only speak for me and my program. I'm gonna wish him well, even if there's some. If the guy says, "Hey, coach, I got 1 year. Do you know of any D2 programs? Do you know any programs that looking for so and so?" Well, let me call. Let me call them and see what I can do. Coach, I'm not getting anything. Sure. That's what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, you want those guys to go and finish their degrees and have some level of success, whatever that looks like for them. And the most important, I want them all to finish with their degrees so that they can put themselves in position to, sustain themselves once this thing is all over. Because again, football is just a small portion of what we're trying to do. We're trying to build the total man. And so football is the vehicle that helps and facilitates us to allow us to help build and grow and develop them and to be in champions on and off the field and in the community.
Coach, let me ask you this real quick. I'm pressed on time. I got to get ready to go to commercial here in a minute. What's your percentage of high school to transfer portal for a football team for you personally?
Based on need, we're gonna always recruit high school guys. We're gonna take the best. We're gonna try to get the best high school football players we can, and we're gonna start from local state of Louisiana. We're gonna work our way out, and then I'm a junior college guy. I like the junior college route more so than the transfer portal because those guys are hungry. They want an opportunity. They want to go and play somewhere at the next level. So I have an array of high school, junior college, and then transfer portal guys. We like the transfer portal when we need experience and immediate needs. So it's a combination of those three things that we use here, and that's always been the formula for Division One FCS football. Now, because of the portal, you got more people jumping in, going to the portal for that quick fix. But we're gonna always recruit. Like I said, we're gonna always recruit the best high school players we can get. We're gonna always start there. Then we'll go junior college, and then we'll go with the portal guys.
Looking forward to next week. Guys doing the spring game?
It'll be, yeah, we will, and it'll be the same as always. Our spring game here will always be offense versus defense, and we'll keep score. And we do that because, again, it goes back to what I said. Our goal is to come out in spring, everybody knowing what they're doing in all three phases of the game. You can do what you want. You can pick, ones versus twos, or ones and twos versus threes and fours, ones and threes versus twos and fours. However format people want to use, they can use that, put on game attire, and go out there and, you see these lopsided scores, and you come out of there sometimes with a false sense of security going into the fall. So I'm not going to do that. Our thing is to go out there and find out who can execute what we're doing and how they can do it at a high level, because at the end of the day, we're all selling Jaguar. So we need to know what we're doing, and we need to know that right now so we know what to do when it comes around fall camp time.
Well, that's the voice of Coach Terrence Graves. He's the head football coach over at Southern University. Coach, man, I appreciate you coming on this morning. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Look, I can sit here and talk to you for hours. You may not want to talk to me, but I just enjoyed the conversation. I think more importantly, the people out there who listening, is always good to hear from the guy that you see on the sidelines, because you never get an opportunity to personally get a chance to talk. And then when you do, it's kind of short, but to be able to hear a coach and talk about his philosophies, his ideas, and so much more, man. I appreciate you for coming on and being able to do that, not only for me, but for the Jaguar Nation and all the people that's out there getting a chance to hear your voice and hearing your thought process into you building your program over at Southern.
Well, I certainly appreciate the opportunity. You can see my voice. I had to put a cough drop in. My voice is, I'm in football mode, so I started off fine, and all of a sudden it starts to fade away. But I certainly enjoy it. Perry, the opportunity to come on and speak with you, as well as the Jaguar Nation and just the people, the supporters in general. It's important. It's always important to know, like you said, a lot of people just see you on the sidelines and they, whatever that perception is, that's their perception. But, I'm a people person, and I don't have a problem sharing and talking about my vision, my plans, my direction for this program. And I'm elated. I'm excited. I'm blessed beyond measure to be the head football coach at Southern University. And I don't take that lightly. And we're serious, and we're committed about building the total man. And when we talk about champions, we talk about that. We want to build champions on, off the field, and in the community. And those things go hand in hand, because athletics without academics is a failure. And so, and then without community service, you got to give, you got to be selfless and not selfish. And those guys understand that, and they do a great job at all three phases. So if we continue to do that, it's just a matter of time before we're champions in all three phases.
Well, thank you, Coach, for coming on this morning, man. I appreciate it, and I hope to have you on in the future. We talk more football or just talk anything.
Sure. I will. No problem. I don't have a problem with that.
All right. That's the voice of Coach Terrence Graves. He's the head football coach over at Southern University.